Theatre Command of the Operation Hadinkai (OPHK) in the northeast has debunked allegations by the Amnesty International that over 10,000 people have died in military custody since the onset of the Boko Haram insurgency in northeast Nigeria. The commander of the theatre, Major General Shuaib Wadi, disclosed this during a media tour by defense correspondents to the headquarters of Joint Task Force. Here is more on this story.
In order to clarify the allegations by the Amnesty International over reports of 10,000 deaths in military custody since the onset of the Boko Haram insurgency in northeast Nigeria, the commander of the theatre operation Hadinkai, Major General Shaibu Wadi, noted that all the allegations were false. According to him, the military does not have the capacity of the alleged facility to accommodate up to the alleged number of detainees.
Areas we have challenges here because of the water hyacinth and the situation, the solution that is in that general area. So in that area, we look at efforts trying to get the national inland waterways, right, to come to dredge parts of the Lake Chad that I now have a lot of water hyacinth in that place that prevent easy navigation of that terrain. So the issue of the news about 10 people die in military detention. How many military detentions can occupy 10,000? When people throw out figures anyhow, have you ever seen 10,000 people arranged in a hall, in a place? I'm sure most of them have not even spoken to 1,000 people before. When you say 10,000 people die in detention, that's not true, just as has been said earlier on. The same figure they sent about the 10,000 abortions that here in the northeast, which the National Human Rights Commission have absolved the military from that. Following that, they brought up this figure. So it's part of their imagination. I don't think there's anything like that.
The Chief J9 in charge of the Civil Military Corporation in the theatre, Navy Captain Mohammed Abdullahi, also debunked the allegation by non-governmental NGOs of funding insurgency in the northeast.
In monitoring them is that first and foremost, they apply for security clearance for be it movement of items, humanitarian items from medical to every other area within the state, and of course, Yobe and Adamawa. So, for instance, because of the fact that the NGOs in their modus operandi, they relate more or they depend on the military to ensure security within where they are to operate. So, the units that are in proximity to where they operate provide the security for them.
Also speaking on the alleged rehabilitation of Boko Haram members by the armed comrade Paul Nimiel, Navy Maritime Components Commander Operation Hadinkai, said the military do not rehabilitate but rather create enabling environment due to the ongoing insurgency in the states.
The armed forces do not rehabilitate ex-combatants. We provide the enabling environment. If you go to the camp, there are over 29 governmental agencies in that camp, from the Nigerian prisons to immigration to Red Cross to there's civil defense. There are so many agencies there. The lead agency for the rehab process is the Nigerian Prison or Correctional Services. We provide security and profiling for the ex-combatants. It is in their place to rehabilitate these ex-combatants.
The Commander Joint Investigation Center Colonel Aliu Ahmed, Operations Hadinkai, further emphasized that the Nigerian military do not involve in the investigation process of suspected terrorists, but rather take custodian for the insurgents to be investigated and persecuted.
The outside world believe the Nigerian military is the one fighting terrorism and prosecuting these people all by themselves. There's no legal procedure around. And when they see this with pictorial evidence, and they now have to come up and tell you that, look, we didn't know that this is how you go about it. So it has gone a long way in changing the negative perception. There is investigations of several suspects referred to it. The center has a team of investigators and language assistants drawn from various security agencies who conduct the investigations. Now, sir, custodians of this suspect, not a single personnel from the armed forces is part of the investigation team. And this is part of what we have done, what the system has put in place to ensure fairness. We are just fighting terrorism as directed, as constitutionally required.
The military under the Theatre Command Northeast Operation Hadinke has continued to intensify operations in order to clarify remnants of Boko Haram terrorists hibernating around Sambisa Forest, Madara Mountains and other border communities around Maiduguri, Borno State.